Yo, yo, welcome to Trippy Commentaries and our WWE Raw reaction / 2014 Hell in a Cell preview. One of our favorite events here at Trippy Comms. Raspo, you ready?
I'm totally ready. I'm back for a second week at Trippy Comms, ready to review tonight's Raw and give you some previews and predictions for the upcoming pay-per-view Hell in a Cell.
Oh, hell yes. No pun intended.
Oh, hell yeah.
Tonight's Raw came from Kansas City, which is pretty crazy considering the Kansas City Royals are in the World Series for the first time since the two of us were born back in 1985. So,
Royals.
Pretty crazy there that Raw just happened to be there in KC, a city that I like quite a bit. Of course, you know, when I went there, I had to have some barbecue, and tonight's Raw started off with the Authority. Triple H made a sneaky, huge announcement here, Matt. Apparently, the winner of Randy Orton versus John Cena will face off with Brock Lesnar for the WWE Championship now. That's huge, and now all of a sudden this match is bigger than ever.
I was wondering what was going to happen because they kind of build this as a second main event. So I was wondering if there were to be any stakes, and now there are some huge stakes.
Yeah,
the winner's going to face Brock Lesnar, and Randy Orton really wants to be the champ, and Cena believes he should have a rematch with Brock Lesnar because, you know, he felt like he didn't really get a fair shake last match he had with him.
Yeah, he's got a point. He almost won. Perhaps he could have won. We all know that Mr. Money in the Bank came out of nowhere and hit him with the suitcase. Thus, disqualification came into effect. But this definitely will be a crazy match. We know that it's a big rivalry, and a lot of us were kind of sick of the match. We don't want to see Randy Orton versus John Cena, but because of this announcement, all of a sudden, now it's a legit match. Definitely, I think the way that Randy Orton's coming out as more of a force to be reckoned with these days. For a while, he was kind of in a lull there. Now I feel like he has a legitimate shot to take out John Cena because of something we saw him do a little bit later on in the night. A question I have for you, Raspo, as Triple H said the Hell in a Cell can change you. Do you buy it? I mean, do you think this is just bullshit, or could it potentially change a wrestler for good?
The question that I'm going to ask you is, do you believe Triple H?
Triple H knows something.
I don't know. He plays a lot of mind games. He goes by the game. I don't really trust him.
Yeah.
But I'm going to leave that to the public to decide and kind of hold off on my decision for right now. I'm going to collect some more evidence, I think.
It was a good quote, though. You know, I really like how Triple H, obviously, you kind of made a point to say hell a lot, and then that quote that it could change your life. He normally, when he says something, it turns out to mean something, so that's something to definitely watch out for as we watch Hell in a Cell on Sunday.
I do think it can make or break a career. I mean, it's a huge change in the typical match.
You know who I think he's referring to when he says that, actually, is Dean Ambrose. I think something's going to happen here with Dean Ambrose. This is must-see TV here. Something crazy is going to go down. I pretty much can guarantee it at this point. Sheamus faced off with the Sheamus teamed up with the Usos and then faced off with The Miz, who switched out with Damien Mizdow and Gold and Stardust. Now, we'll have the Usos versus Gold and Stardust for the Tag Team Championship. Can the Usos take it back? We'll give you our predictions here shortly. But as far as this match, I really thought that, surprisingly, Damien Mizdow got a lot of momentum, and he stole the show here in a match filled with some, some guys that get reactions.
Damien Mizdow has definitely been gaining some momentum, and the crowd he seems to be getting over with the crowds that he's going to perform in front of. I like him. I think he's a good wrestler. He's got a unique style to him. His last gimmick that he was doing wasn't really working out. So after a barrage of different wrestlers that he would imitate, sort of kind of be a stunt double for. He finally stuck with one, Damien Mizdow, and
he was LeBron James a couple times too, actually.
Yeah, for sure.
Funny enough, the Damien Mizdow thing seems to be working for him. He did get the finisher in this match, as they did win. And you brought up his former persona. I was watching last year's SummerSlam, and he was the first wrestler out of the gate, and it just wasn't working. You know, I'm smarter than everybody else. He was doing that whole thing, and nobody really cared. I felt like that was bad writing. He's a pretty good wrestler, and maybe this will be the second coming. Hopefully he gets a second chance at being a singles fighter. Right now he's latched onto The Miz.
It's kind of cool to see, actually, The Miz is really actually helping him out, I would say.
Definitely is, for sure. So we have AJ Lee, who defeated the underrated Alicia Fox. I'd like to see more out of Alicia Fox. She's the only diva that really impresses me right now. What do you think?
Alicia Fox has a fiery attitude. I really like her. The WWE has put her in some matches, but she hasn't really been able to come through and ever win the title nor maintain it.
Not even close.
If she did. So
yeah,
basically,
she's a crazy bitch, though.
She is. She's there for support, and I got to give her a lot of credit, but she's just not gonna compete with the likes of Paige and nor AJ Lee right now.
Yeah, and of course they will face off in a championship match. AJ Lee, who currently holds the title, once again facing off with Paige. They're really dragging out that rivalry. Jeez.
Well, Alicia Fox did win tonight, and I wrote that in my notes as well, that this feud is getting quite tired. So
now, Randy Orton and John Cena did have a segment here where Randy Orton was building up this rivalry. Do you think that this is an overplayed rivalry, or are you excited to see this once again?
I think this is a huge rivalry, and Orton's whole intent is that he's the best. He should be the champ, and he should have the chance to face Brock Lesnar and defeat Brock Lesnar, which I actually think he has a point, because when you think about it, Cena had a match with Lesnar. He got his ass kicked, and then he fought Lesnar again in a rematch. So even though he kind of got screwed over on the rematch, he had one chance, and he really got his butt kicked, man. So
yeah,
now I think, hey, why not give Orton a chance?
Well, it's funny you mentioned Lesnar, because, of course, in this segment, we had Paul Heyman show up and tell both John Cena and Randy Orton that neither have a shot anyways. And we saw, well, actually, first we saw it looked like John Cena was going to hit Paul Heyman with the AAA. But then we saw Randy Orton hit Paul Heyman with the RKO. That's got to mean something.
Yep, well, it was, like you said, Cena picks up Heyman, and he was going to hit him with the AA, puts him down, being the nice guy. All out of nowhere, the Viper RKO's John Cena, and then RKO's Heyman, which, like I believe he wanted to do. He wanted to, make a statement and say, Brock Lesnar, I'll RKO your manager right here in front of everybody, and what are you going to do about it?
Definitely sent a message.
It definitely did, and he kind of stood tall there.
Yeah, that's a huge rivalry, talking about Randy Orton versus John Cena. It's definitely something that we need to respect, and it's going to be put on a huge stage, as it is the main event of Hell in a Cell. This could be their biggest match ever, which is certainly saying a lot.
I do want to throw out that Randy Orton got a lot of heat tonight from the crowd with the anti-Royals.
Yeah.
Royals.
Yeah, no doubt. Rusev versus Big E. No surprise here. Rusev got Big E in the accolade, but this is kind of setting up for a massive showdown between Rusev and the Big Show, because after Rusev defeated Big E, some crazy stuff went down.
Some crazy stuff did go down. Basically, Rusev and Lana were expecting the Russian flag to be lowered down, and instead of the Russian flag, the American flag gets lowered down. Big Show appears on Titantron, right? And he's just laughing at them. So some crazy stuff, some even crazier stuff goes down after that, RJ.
Real crazy.
Yeah, basically Rusev goes over to the American flag, tries to, pull it down, and a veteran comes out of nowhere. Rusev kicks him in the face, and it's just this huge heat-getting event every time Rusev comes out, where it's this anti-American, pro-Russian jargon that he spits. So
yeah, certainly going along with the the modern day news, that's for sure. But that will be a massive battle, and we'll definitely make our predictions here shortly. The next event that came across Raw tonight, Raspo, was Brie Bella quickly defeating Summer Rae. And
no surprise. No surprise. Not much to really say about this. This is just a filler match, in my opinion.
Dean Ambrose came out after that matchup, and he pulled a dummy out of a bag. This was definitely something new here, Raspo. This whole segment got really wild.
I thought it was really funny. He used a few puns, and he brought some, he brought a nail. He stuck it through his head. He said, I'm going to nail it down right now for you, Seth. And then he hammered down with the hammer. Yep. And then he pile drived, which is not a legal move anymore, but he pile drived the dummy, the mannequin, in the middle of the ring. So basically, I had a note that Rollins confronted the sellout chants, really just killed it on the mic. He drops pipe bombs quite frequently. And this is when we had a huge surprise in Mick Foley coming out.
Yes.
That was awesome.
That was awesome. I've actually compared Dean Ambrose to Mick Foley a lot on Raw Reactions. And not so much yet, but it's almost like to where that's where Dean Ambrose needs to go. They need to bring back the Hardcore Championship because that's got Ambrose's name written all over it. Awesome to see Mick Foley make an appearance. And then you saw, once again, the Ambrose and Rollins feud continue. They try to get at one another. We're going to have to wait until the pay-per-view to finally see them clash. And I'm excited to hear your prediction to see who you think's going to win that one, because it's a really well-balanced matchup, don't you think?
I think it's a great matchup. I can't wait for this one, RJ.
Yeah, I've been waiting for this matchup, and it's coming very quickly. Let's go ahead and talk about this Ziggler versus Cesaro matchup, Raspo, because this was an impressive win by Cesaro, and considering Cesaro does have a possible championship matchup ahead, this is definitely, always beating Dolph Ziggler, who's an impressive fighter, is going to help your cause, but I felt like this is definitely a win that puts him in the right direction.
Definitely does, and the biggest part about this is that he defeated Ziggler clean. Mm-hmm. So
exactly.
He deserves a title shot, in my opinion. He's a great wrestler. He needs an update on his theme music, I would say. The sirens get kind of annoying after
That's true.
a while.
Good point. I've not thought about that until now.
Yeah.
And I repped the King of Swing Cesaro shirt at the recent WWE Battleground. So awesome. I'm definitely a fan of Cesaro, but that would definitely help him. It sucks that he no longer has Paul Heyman on his side. But with guys like Sheamus with the championship, Sheamus is facing off with The Miz. I think this is definitely a spot right there where Cesaro can come in. Obviously, he can also take The Miz's championship as well. So this definitely could be, or I'm sorry, not The Miz, Dolph Ziggler, I meant to say there. Right. So definitely some possibilities there for Cesaro. Now we have Cena teaming up with Ambrose, which is, we've seen this over and over again. Handicap match against the Authority, Kane, Seth Rollins, the trio there, definitely Randy Orton, definitely ganged up on him. But this match in particular, even though normally the main events are nothing special, this one was crazy as hell as the cage came down, and it was really an epic preview to what to expect on Sunday.
Yeah, Kane called for the cage to come down toward the end of this match, and some pretty cool stuff happened. Ambrose drop kicked Rollins into the cell.
That was amazing.
And Rollins just really sold it nicely and bounced off the cell. It looked like it was really painful. I'm sure it was. For
those people who say like, "Oh, wrestling's fake," and and that, and the other, just watch stuff like that. It's like, yeah, good luck faking that.
And I'm sorry, but Ambrose beating Orton with that kendo stick. Come on, that's gotta hurt.
Yeah, sure. It leaves pretty brutal marks.
Yeah, for sure.
And the last thing we saw on the night after, as we expected, that the RKO by Randy Orton for the victory to make Randy Orton appear as devastating as possible, even though Dean Ambrose got the dirty deeds in there himself right before getting getting RKO'd. But Randy Orton comes out on top. But what happens right after that?
Oof.
Seth Rollins gets Randy Orton with the curb stomp.
Wow, man.
Awesome moment. And even better, Raw kind of finished off with Seth Rollins on top of the Hell in a Cell, or the cage, with that epic laugh that he has. And, man, what a setup to a pretty cool pay-per-view we got.
I've been waiting for this moment for a long time, of Seth Rollins finally doing something against Randy Orton. There's been such a huge tension that has been brewing between these two guys, and it's finally good to see some sort of release of that tension. The curb stomp. Seth Rollins is the future, in my opinion, of this company, and he's acting like it, at least on the mic and in the ring. So
he is.
He stood victorious tonight on top of the cell, but will we see that at Hell in the Cell?
It's too bad the Shield didn't get a longer run. I was a huge fan of the Shield, and now looking back on it, just what a perfect spot for Seth Rollins to launch his career as a member of the Shield. And of course, now he's kind of a member of the Authority. It's only a matter of time before he just says, forget it. I don't need anybody. And he's going to be the WWE champion at some point. I don't know how they're going to pull it off and how long it's going to take. But I definitely think it's going down. But without further ado, let's go ahead and make our picks. Let's put our predictions on the line here. Raspo, right after this, we're going to fly out to Vegas. We're going to hit up the Hooters Sportsbook. Throw down some cash on our picks. The first matchup, Golden Stardust versus the Usos. I think the Usos are going to be the tag team champions.
I'm not quite sure I agree with that. I'm going to say that Golden Stardust retain.
Really?
Yeah, I just think they still have some more life left in them. I saw a new move tonight that I hadn't seen from Stardust, a Starfall.
Yeah, that was tight. That could be a good sign. You're right. All right, well, we're split on that one. The Usos are extremely impressive. So even if they don't win the tag team championship this time around, they're not going around. They're not going anywhere. They'll be back. But this is definitely going to be a great matchup, and I expect it to kick off the night. AJ Lee versus Paige. Do you think Paige can take back the championship, Matt?
I think she has the ability to, and at the same time, I just don't see it happening. I see AJ Lee retaining the title here and defeating Paige.
Yeah, I feel you there. I actually agree with you. I think AJ Lee keeps the title mainly because she's CM Punk's wife. Big Show versus Rusev. Will Rusev's undefeated streak come to an end?
I don't think so.
Really?
I think they're going to keep something. They want something bigger.
Yeah,
I don't know if it's more this Rock feeling that
would be awesome. That would be the best.
I'm just going to say no on this one.
Rusev
takes it.
Yeah, he'll take out the Big Show, and then I think you'll see the Big Show team up with Mark Henry and gear more towards the tag team champions. Whoever that might be, whether it be Golden Stardust or the Usos. That'll be pretty interesting to see them face off. Sheamus comes in with the U.S. Championship against The Miz. Is The Miz going to get another title? Not the one he had before, but
no.
The U.S. Championship?
I'm sorry. No way in hell. No way in hell in the cell.
Really?
It's not happening. Sorry, Miz.
Unfortunately, I'm a big Sheamus fan, but I think The Miz is going to take it. Wow. Thus giving him yet another title belt to gloat about. And we'll see what that means for old Damien Mizdow. Yeah, he gets his own replica. Brie versus Nikki in a personal assistant match, we'll call it. Quickly, who's going to win it?
I think something's going to happen here where Nikki takes it. It's going to, I don't know. Just have a weird feeling about this one.
I'm calling Brie Bella, and then Nikki's her assistant. That should lead to some laughs. John Cena versus Randy Orton. You have to take Cena, right?
I don't know. The Authority is always lurking, and they don't want Cena to win. So,
good point.
I really have a hard time taking Cena. I know he's Super Cena. But I'm going to throw a wild card pick here and just go with Orton and say he's going to somehow win this one.
Wow.
In a dirty way.
It'll be interesting to see if this match is before or after the Ambrose-Rollins match, because I think Rollins is going to defeat Dean Ambrose. And if this is after, I could see Rollins coming out somehow with the suitcase and maybe, I don't know, maybe defeating Cena and Orton and taking that position of the #1 contender. Wow. But I'm picking Cena over Orton and Rollins over Ambrose. Who do you have in that epic main event, Matt? Ambrose or Rollins?
I got to go with Rollins on this one too. I'm with you. I love Rollins. I think he's going to take it. I think there might be some foul play in this one as well. I have a bad feeling about the Authority. They're heavy-handed, you know. Kane, Triple H, they're always lurking.
I agree with you 100%. We'll see what happens. Thank you guys for joining us. I'm RJ for Raspo. Guys, stay trippy and have a nice day.
Trippy.